Anthony Curtis, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Starting to get hot here in Vegas.
Yes, my least favorite time to come visit. So, you're not familiar with Anthony. He does the Las Vegas Advisor. You've been doing that, what, 35 years now or something?
Yeah, a little more than that. I mean, we're into the 40s now, believe it or not. We
Oh,
first
geez.
started doing it like in mid 1980 something.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
so yeah, I mean, it was in different incarnations, but yeah, I mean, doing it legitimately the way we do it now, it's about 35 or so.
Wow. So Anthony is our authority on all things Las Vegas. So I like to do an interview with him every once in a while and see how things are going in Vegas. So I guess we'll just hop right into it. How's Vegas doing? Still firing
Um,
away?
Well, kind of. I mean, some of the latest numbers that are coming out and some of the analysts who are talking about the future is for the first time in like 3 or going on 4 years now, they're a little bit negative in their prognostication, saying that, maybe the long roll is going to come to an end, which it has to at some point. I mean, it's just
Hmm.
been nonstop since the pandemic. Once people got back into the casinos, it's been absolutely go, go, go. But I guess numbers are starting to pull back a little bit. You wouldn't know it in the town. I mean, the town looks
Hmm.
busy as hell. Anytime you go into a casino, they're packed.
Yeah, since COVID, it's been all gas, no brakes.
Yeah.
But if business is starting to slow down, that might actually be good for consumers, right? Because with it being all gangbusters, the casinos have been cutting back on all their offers and everything. So you think they're going to start sending out some more offers to get people back?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, bad times for casinos are good times for customers for the most part. And the
Hmm.
casinos, they knee jerk pretty quickly. So, I mean,
Hmm.
once they see things start to fall off, they'll, go into a mini panic and start hitting their database a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, easing up on things, maybe not raising resort fees by a buck every month, is what they've been doing. Resort fees, they inch up. And maybe they pull back on that a little bit. So if things are going to get a little bit tight, then that's probably good for the player. That's probably good for the visitor.
Well, that's my first question is what's the status looking like on parking fees and resort fees? I guess everything is still going up from what you just said.
They don't fiddle too much with the parking. The parking pretty much stays where it's at. But resort fees, that's like the silent one. And we
Hmm.
we look at LVA, we check it every month. And we see it go up, every month. We usually report on it, and it's becoming so normal now that we don't always. I think our next issue, which will be the June issue, I think we'll do a big report on that to show how they have been continually creeping up. And I mean like once every 2 months, the same place will raise it by another buck or two. And we've got
Wow.
several now over $50 a night. Several. I mean, that was the big barrier. Like, who's going to go over 50? And
Hmm.
that happened about 3 or 4 months ago. And now we've got everybody's following suit. And we've got, a dozen places that have $50 a night resort fees.
Wow. So I guess the this is May 3rd we're doing this interview. So I guess the main thing is Tropicana demolition that's still going on. The last one of the big OGs of Vegas is saying
Yeah.
sayonara.
Yeah. They don't know. We just did our YouTube. We just posted ours, the LVA YouTube yesterday, and we talked about this. We said there was like a bunch of non-news coming out of the Tropicana. And the
Hmm.
non-news was they're saying, we don't have a timetable for what we're going to do. We're going to take down the casino. We're definitely going to take down the casino. And they've already started. They've got these like bungalows in the back, and they're tearing those down with machinery. But they've got two big towers there, and they've taken out a permit for imploding those towers. And they've got until October 20th to do that. So it'll probably happen sometime in late September or early October. Well, that will be the first Vegas implosion since the Riviera, going back into 2016 or something like that, 2017.
Hmm.
Um, but it's definitely, they're going to demolish it, but they don't know what they're going to do. They say they're going to build the baseball stadium. That seems like it's going to happen, but they're supposedly going to build a casino around it or integrate it into it, but absolutely no information about that.
Now it is officially closed though, right?
Oh, it's closed. Yeah, it
Yeah.
closed last month. I was
Hmm.
there on the last night. I always try to go there on the last night of these places. It was interesting. It was a party. You just saw a lot of older, good-looking women who are like probably showgirls and cocktail waitresses, and a bunch of the old dealers were all hanging around, and buddy of mine got the last Heineken, and they were charging $11 a pop there, and they were getting it right up to the end. It was
Nice.
fun.
Now, wasn't there some news that they weren't actually getting the baseball team?
It goes back and forth, but it's just noise. I mean,
Hmm.
it's too much has happened at this point, and it's almost certain that they're going to build it at the Trop, especially since they've closed the place now.
Hmm.
Now it's not
Yeah.
going to be the Tropicana anymore. When they come back with another casino, the smart money's on Bally's because it's Bally's Corporation, but it
Uh-huh.
won't be the Trop, and they'll build something there at some point. There's still a chance that until they start building the thing, that the baseball stadium won't happen, but it looks like it's going to happen, which to my chagrin, because I thought they were going to do it at the Rio, which is right across from where I'm talking to you from now. I mean, how cool would it be to have a baseball stadium right there, finish the day's work, walk over, don't worry about the traffic, go by the
Hmm.
cheap seats, right? Get a beer up in the upper deck and hang out and walk back. I was really looking forward to it, not to mention what it would have done for property values for us and everything else. But it
Yeah, I
looks
was
like
going
it's
to
gonna
say
be there.
you could rent out your employee parking too.
Oh man, there are all kinds of possibilities. Yeah, that day I heard it was going to the Trop was a sad day.
Uh-huh. Now, are games still getting worse? Still 6 to 5 blackjack, 000 everywhere?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily they're getting worse. I mean, they're just basically status quo now, are these crappy games.
Hmm.
Um, you heard what they did at, have you heard, or were you planning on talking about what they did at Slots of Fun? They,
No, I didn't even know about that one.
yeah, they went retro at Slots of Fun, and we can talk about that. But part of what they did there, well, what they did is they put in a bunch, like 75 coin droppers, they call them,
Uh-huh.
machines that don't use the Tito ticket in, ticket out. So they've got the old style machines with the handles, but the handles don't work. You still got to push a button. But the coins, you have to load with coins, and coins come out, and there's a cashier and everything else. But they also, for the first time since like 2011, put in table games.
Oh,
And
wow.
they're but it's all bad. I mean, it's
Oh,
like the blackjack game is 8 decks, 6 to 5, that sort of thing.
oof.
They didn't put in a 000 roulette. There was a 00 there, but it's everybody's, not many people are going to go the opposite direction. Not many places are going to do that these days.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping with the if business starts to take a slide, hopefully somebody has the foresight to make the games a little better, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
that would be nice. But okay, so going back to Slots of Fun for your viewers, they're trying to go to do this vintage slash retro style.
Hmm.
And part of that is supposedly back, to values. The Slots of Fun was always known for, 50-cent Heineken, and
Didn't they have the like $2 foot long hot dog or
a
something?
dollar, it was 99 cent or a dollar foot long hot dog. Now here what they got 24/7 at the bar. They got $2 shrimp cocktail. It's a decent one. And it's
Oh,
definitely
nice.
the best shrimp cocktail deal in town right now. They have $2 hot dogs, they have $2 popcorn, and $2 Heinekens, all at
Oh,
the bar.
nice.
24/7 right there on the strip.
And if people aren't familiar with Slots of Fun, that's the one that's like between Circus Circus and the Strip, right?
Right. It's right there. It's right next to Circus Circus.
Hmm.
And now there's where the problem is the parking. They don't have their own parking lot. And
Hmm.
next to them is a McDonald's that if you dare park in that McDonald's for 10 minutes, man, they're going to be towing you. So don't do that. But what you do is you park in the back of Circus Circus and just walk through. And it's,
Hmm.
it's about a 7, 8 minute walk, but it's all right. It's cool. Or you park across the street at something like Peppermill, go in there. They've got 9-6 video poker, maybe get a beer there and play, and then you can walk across from there.
Gotcha. Well, most of us could probably use the steps anyways, so.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, but back to the 000. I actually down here, Seminole Hard Rock, they finally got their live craps, their live roulette, and I noticed because they had never, it was all electronic before, so they still have a lot of the electronic tables for lower limits, but every single one is now 000, all the electronic roulette.
Really? No, even they don't even get no even option to go to the other, huh?
Nope, if
Well,
you want 000, you got to play the live tables.
wow. Well, I mean, I've observed this for years. You put a 00 next to a single zero or a 00 next to a 000, and the same amount of people are playing with empty seats on both.
Hmm.
Meaning that they could fill up the 00, but they don't. They'll go next door to the triple. It doesn't matter. The people
Yeah,
don't care. They just don't
it,
care.
Yeah, and that's always been one of my dad and I's philosophies is to try and educate gamblers to, use their gambling dollar more responsibly. Because the way my dad has always said it, because he's always said the same thing: you walk into a casino, there's a single table zero, a single zero table, double zero table. Everybody's at the double zero table. The way he says it is that'd be like walking up to the buffet. There's one line where it's $20. There's one line where it's $30, and everybody's in the $30 line.
It's just for some, well, it's the same stupidity, but
Mm-hmm.
it's obviously more obvious if you had a price tag up there.
Yeah.
And people just don't see the price tag is on a roulette wheel. You can tell the price tag by how many zeros. There's your price tag. There it is. But people don't know how to read it. They just don't get that there's a difference.
And what's really interesting is I noticed down here at some of the other places that don't have the live tables, they still have the electronic roulette. But the electronic roulette, some of the machines are single zero, but if you look at it, they short you on the payoff. So it's really still, it only has 1 0 on the wheel, but because they give you a less payoff, it actually is the same house edge as the double zero.
Oh man, that's a sneaky one. I haven't heard of that. And
Uh-huh.
that makes total sense. Now, a
Yeah.
person who plays roulette's going to notice that right away. But a
Mm-hmm.
person who really hasn't and just kind of ambles up there the first time isn't going to know the difference at all, man.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
they might even know, they might even think they've got a deal. Ooh, single zero, and not even realize that they're getting shorted on the pay. Getting shorted on the pay, they'd never pick it up.
Uh-huh. So now the MGM Cosmo deal had completed. The last time we talked, they were still using their old identity club, the Cosmopolitan Players Club. Have they gone over to MGM yet?
Got an email yesterday from someone who said they're doing the switch right now.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't know what that means. I don't know if this wasn't something from the casino. This was from an LVA member who
Mm-hmm.
said they're in the process of doing the switch, but for real. Not just like we are doing it, it'll happen. They're saying the conversion is in effect right now. So it may have already taken place. I'll know that in a few days. I don't know at the moment, but it should be any minute now, any day
Okay,
now.
hot off the presses.
Yeah, well, who cares?
Now, speaking of MGM though, so we're doing this video in the beginning of May. I saw a video on Facebook the other day from a guy called Jacob's Life in Vegas. I had never heard of him, but it was a very, very interesting video where he was explaining that a lot of the casinos are running tier match programs right now, and he showed a way to get to gold MGM status for free. Are you familiar with this right now?
I'm familiar with a whole lot of tier matching moves right now. I don't know about this one in particular. If you explain
Yeah.
it, I'll let you
So
know.
I wrote now this is only some of the tier matching end at the end of May and some of them end at the end of June, but to do it the whole way through, you're going to need to do it this month. So apparently what you do is you need MGM Pearl status to start it, which you can get for free either A, if you're a veteran, or B, if you sign up for the MGM credit card, which has no annual fee, right? So if you
Mhm.
get MGM Pearl, you go to Fontainebleau with your MGM Pearl card.
They're
They'll
matching.
match you to the Fontainebleau Silver. Then you leave Fontainebleau, go to the Win. The Win will match your Fontainebleau Silver to the Win Platinum. Then you leave the Win, go back to an MGM property, and they'll match your Win Platinum to the MGM Gold.
Wow. Okay. Yes. Slick move. We just wrote about one in the May LVA.
Mm-hmm.
Similar. Everybody's doing this off of Fontainebleau right now because
Mm-hmm.
Fontainebleau through June is doing all this tier matching. So what a local can do is go to the Mirage, which is turning
Mm-hmm.
into the Hard Rock, and they will immediately give you a certain status card there. Then you take it over to Fontainebleau, and they will upgrade you to the level. I don't know if it's the one you said, but a level where you get free parking and $100 meal
Yes.
ticket.
Yeah. That was the silver. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I believe once you get gold with MGM, I think you can also get another, or no, it's at the Win gives you $100 spa credit. So if you end up doing this whole circle, you get $100 meal, you get $100 spa credit, you get free parking at a few different places. So if you are in Vegas and you've got some time to kill, it probably is going to take you an hour or two to do it, a few hours, but it could be worth it to get free MGM Gold status if you can get there in May.
Yeah, and that'll give you parking. That'll give you free
Mm-hmm.
parking and all that. So yeah, the tier matching thing, there's all kinds of opportunities there, and they come and go. And the people who are really good at it have got a lot of really high level cards.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And then I guess speaking of Fontainebleau, how is that going? I know there had been some shakeups because the casino is not being run very well. So what's the any updates on that?
No, the word on the street there is that it's just kind of a ghost town. That I mean, they get their customers in the hotel who want to stay in that place, which is I haven't been in a room, but by all accounts, it's gorgeous inside and out. But they're just not hanging out in the casino. It's just
Hmm.
not considered a casino. I mean, and nothing's changed there.
Hmm.
They haven't upgraded any of their, they haven't made their games better, which are terrible out in the pit. They haven't done anything with their video poker. There's hardly any video poker in the whole joint. I think I mentioned this last time on your show. They've got 36 bars and restaurants, and only one bar has a bar top machines, and that's at the
Wow.
sports book. So I mean, that's just kind of unheard of in a Vegas casino, but that's the way they built it. There's not a lot they can do with it right now.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Fontainebleau, that's the down in Miami. It's one of the spearhead like top hotels down in Miami Beach, and that's where that Live nightclub was. And I think they're opening one there too, right?
Yeah, everything's live.
Yeah.
That's the name of their showroom, their nightclub, their day club.
Uh-huh.
The pool complex, which just opened up. Yeah, they're trading on that for sure. On the Miami rep.
Yeah, and even I mean, so they've got that nightclub in Miami, and even they have at the Dolphin Stadium. I don't know if they still have it, but I know for a few years the club level, there was a certain club level that you could get that was the live club level at the Dolphins game. So they had it was like a nightclub in the football stadium.
Yeah, it seems like something's got to change over there. I mean, they've got
Hmm.
the problem is they're very similar, but not as good in the casino as Resorts World right across the street. So you got
Hmm.
these two gigantic places that people aren't sure about, and if they're going to pick one or the other, they're probably going to go to resorts. It's much more of a casino atmosphere there, and then Fontainebleau just does not have the casino atmosphere.
Now, speaking of Resorts World, I just got one of the most insane offers from them I've ever seen. I was there one time with my dad filming, and I did not put through much action, what I thought, but they sent me an offer for $2,000 in free play, Anthony.
Really,
$2,000 in free play at $500 dining credit and a 3-night stay.
good grief.
That
That's
is the
a
most free play I've ever been offered in my entire life.
Yeah, that's worth a trip, man.
I was not planning a Vegas trip, but I'm going to be there in a week or two.
What do you think you put through? Any idea?
I think I filmed maybe 10 videos, which would be 200 minutes of video poker play. At the highest, I bet was $25 a spin.
Well, you probably, yeah, that's good. That's action. See, they're looking for anything on the higher edge. When that opened, I put 30 grand through on a play. I sat
Hmm.
for one play, played for about 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours, put 30 grand through, and got
Hmm.
pretty meager mail. Now,
Hmm.
I'm local, so maybe that made a difference there. But
Yeah, so I don't know if they're going for out of town or if it might be worth putting another play in there. So
hmm, interesting. All right, good. I'm
yeah,
glad
just came in my mailbox yesterday actually, and I was like, oh, I got to mention this to Anthony.
No, that's a good one, man. That says a couple of things. This goes back to your first question at the start of this video.
Uh-huh.
Are they starting to get looser? Are the deals starting to get better? Well, there's a little bit of evidence right there.
Hmm. Yeah, and then I guess so. And how's Durango Station doing? I know we had mixed views on Durango.
Yeah, I think they're doing fine.
Hmm.
I predicted on that one that they would have trouble pulling the locals, but I think they did their demographic work good there,
Hmm.
logistics work good there. And from everything I hear, they're doing very, very well. So good for them. They opened not as loose as I thought they had to as a locals place. I thought it would come back to bite them. It's still pretty early in the game. But at this point, I would say no, it's not. They like the place, and I hear it's been doing well.
I only went there for a few hours on my last trip, and the video poker, I thought it was good, but again, that's because I'm used to the tight stuff down here in South Florida. But I guess when you pointed out that for a Vegas locals place, it should have much better games.
Well,
But
yeah.
I didn't eat anywhere, but all the restaurants that I walked past there just smelled absolutely phenomenal.
Well, they know what their locals want in that regard.
Hmm.
And, for instance, that their food hall there, which,
Hmm.
it's food hall now. It's not buffet and it's not food court, now it's
Yeah.
food hall.
Food
So,
hall
okay,
so that they can charge twice as much.
right. Now I'll go with it. That's what they want to call it. I'll go with it. But they've got some good stuff there. I mean, one of them, they got a place in there called Shang, Shang, Shang Artisan Noodle. It's as good for like the Chinese noodle soups. It's as good as you're going to find in town. The original is kind of near my office on Flamingo, and they opened up a second one there, and you almost can't go wrong. So, good for them. They're doing fine with what they're doing, and go to it.
Well, if it's near your office, that's right next to Chinatown, right? So it's got to be legit if their original place is near Chinatown.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying with all the great places in Chinatown. And I haven't tried them all. There's so many of them, and I continue to try different ones. Shang is as good as it gets.
Hmm.
So it's available way up there on the west side of Durango as well.
And now I guess let's talk about the Mirage. So if people aren't familiar, the Mirage has been in Vegas for decades. It got bought out by the Seminole tribe down here, and they're converting it into a guitar. And they're supposedly building another because down here they've got it's like a 38-story guitar shaped hotel. It's not a facade. The entire hotel is shaped like a guitar. It is impressive. They're
Right.
supposed to be building one in Vegas. I heard an interesting rumor I wanted to ask you about. So the current plan is that they were going to tear down the volcano and build the hotel at the front, right? While it
Right.
was everything was still operating. Rumor I heard the other day, supposedly, and I don't know how valid of a rumor it is. I heard they're going to try and buy TI next door, tear down all of TI and put the guitar there. You heard anything about that, or was that just something crazy I heard?
I haven't heard that, no. And I would think that that would be a tough thing to do. They've been trying to do that for a long time. And, TI or Treasure Island is owned by Phil Ruffin. Phil Ruffin is a, multi-billionaire. He doesn't need to do anything he doesn't want to do, and he's pretty fiercely independent.
Uh-huh.
But he is a horse trader. So if they gave him the right money, I reckon he would do it. I haven't heard that. What we're hearing now about that conversion or that transformation is that it's now underway seriously. That
Uh-huh.
the work is about to begin on everything that's going to turn Mirage into a hard rock. And that starts with the closing of Love. After all these years, Love is closing
No.
July 7th. They've named the last day it will play is July 7th. So
Oh
that
man.
absolutely signals, that it's go time. And, first it was the Siegfried and Roy garden and the dolphin habitat. Well, that's long gone. Next is Love. Next will be the volcano. And they're going to do it supposedly in phases. The whole thing's going to be in phases. They're going to not shut down the casino while they go. If they were to purchase TI, that would totally make sense. It would be a mega place, I'll tell you that. But I have not heard that. That's the first I've heard of it.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was somebody at the casino that was telling me that. You always meet interesting characters at the casino, but when I heard that, I was like, I gotta ask Anthony about that
Yeah, I'd bet against it just because of
one.
who owns it.
Yeah. That's really sad about Love. I think that is hands down my favorite Cirque du Soleil show, and I've seen almost every single one.
Oh man, it's been we published the statistics of how many people they've played to and all, millions and millions. It's just been a staple of this city since it opened. So it's kind
Hmm.
of sad to see it go.
That's been there since I was in high school, like since 2005, I think at least.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it 3 times. Every time I bring somebody new to Vegas and they talk about wanting to see a Cirque show, I always bring them to see Love.
Well, if you come
That's
out
a
for
shame.
you come out for that Resorts World deal, you better make it by July 7th to see it one more
Yeah, well,
time.
it's only for May, so I gotta come
Oh,
in the next
okay,
few weeks. So
cool.
now, speaking of the Rio, they have their own independent players club now too, right? And they got bought out by somebody else finally. How's that going?
It's going good there. I mean, it's not going good there for them yet in terms of getting crowds, but it's going good there in the direction they're going for the customer.
Hmm.
And this is another one where they're putting a bunch of money into the place to spruce it up and make it better. And they're doing deals. I mean, now there's a place I would recommend people go play when they come to town. Go play there and get into their database. I've got a friend in Detroit who I've known for years and years, and I stay in touch with him after all these years. And he sent me an offer he got from the Rio. He goes, I don't know how I got this offer. He goes, I might have played there one time. And they're, going through their database. They did a deal with LVA. I mean, now here's the pitch for LVA membership. They did a deal with us where you get 30% off the room rates, off the base room rate, and they waive the resort fee.
Oh, wow.
Unlimited. You can do it as much as you want. I talked to a guy who came in yesterday. He said, man, he goes, you saved me $500. I said, oh, really?
Sweet.
What happened there? I figured he hit something with one of our, gambling coupons. He goes, no. He goes, I went to the Rio. I had an extended stay. I put it in. Best price was 1,400 and something. He goes, I put in a code and it was 900. He goes, 900 plus. Powerhouse, man. And they're doing it and they're sticking with it. And it's a great place to stay because it's really well located. It's not on a strip, but it's right there. And those rooms were originally in the first tower, the Ipanema Tower, I believe it is. They're all suites. Everything's a suite in there. And they're polishing everything up. So Rio's a good play. And just to go there and make a play is a good play these days.
Oh, so speaking of Resorts World, the funniest thing about this big offer I got is I had just gotten an email from them the day before. It was the most outrageous thing I've ever seen in my life, right? It was an email. The subject line said $300,000 winner take all blackjack tournament, which I know you'd be interested in. You're a really good tournament blackjack player. I've played in a few and done well. And I was like, oh man, this could be good. So I open up the email. It says you must qualify to be invited. And I was like, okay, let me read the fine print, see what I have to do to qualify. Still might be worth it. There were two options. One option was how much money you would have needed to lose in a single visit to qualify. The second option was how much money you needed to lose in a calendar year from July 23 to July 24. How much you think you needed to lose in one day to qualify for this blackjack tournament, Anthony?
Oh, geez. I don't know. 20K?
$150,000.
Oh my God. So this is going to be the World Championship of losers.
Yeah. You had to lose 150,000 in one day or $500,000 in the previous calendar year.
Oh my God. That is absolutely, send me that. If you can, if you still got it, forward that to me.
I will. I'll forward it to you. I have the picture on my phone. I'll go back and find the email.
Oh my Lord. I mean, typically these things are based on handle, on Theo, on, how much
and it was worded to make it seem like it was actual loss and not theoretical loss.
Oh, good grief. I mean, that's unbelievable. So here's how they promote it. They go, here we have the biggest losers in our entire casino, and they're going to play off against one another for the crown of what?
I mean, if you think about it, $300,000 winner take all, you need to lose $150,000 to qualify. They're going to make a lot of money off that tournament.
Yeah, well, maybe they only have 3 players. I don't know.
Yeah. And you said it was getting hot, so that means it's pool season. Anything cool going on with pool season?
We just did it, man. We just did our gigantic call around. The takeaways from that, well, everybody's got a party, I mean, everybody's got pool parties and things going on. The toptional thing, I mean, if you think back a decade ago, the topless optional was a thing that started at, I think, Bear Pool at the Mirage, and then it went to the next and the next. In 2015, there were a dozen casinos that had topless pools. And on our call around this time, there were 4.
Oh, wow.
Right? We're down to 4. And I don't have them in front of me. See if I can remember. One of them is the Lexi. The Lexi used to be the Artisan. All right. It was that small little casino on Sahara near the I-15. And it wasn't even a casino. It's really more, they had machines, but it's really more of just a hotel. Now it's a weed hotel. Now it's the one that you can.
Oh, is that the one that's across from Mohegan Sun?
No, it's not.
Oh.
This one's way up on Sahara.
Oh, okay.
But they've got a pool called Naked Pool, and appropriately.
Very original name.
It can be topless, right? Okay, so there's that one. There's Tau at Venetian. There's the European pool at Caesar's Palace. And the other one is Wynn Wynn has a pool with topless. The other one is six different places have blackjack by the pool. We found, Circa was one of them. I don't have those at hand. I think Red Rock was another one. So we've got all that stuff in our newsletter for this month. It's the same thing. It hasn't changed much. They all have their day life parties. You don't have to be staying there to get into the parties, but it's difficult to get into a pool if you're not staying at a place, just to party and hang out. Unless you want to go in there and tell them you're going to play blackjack, then they got to let you in.
Mm-hmm. There you go. There's a fun tip.
Yep.
Any more buffets coming back, or still business as usual there?
Nope, we're not a thing. There hasn't been a new buffet for close to a year now. We're at 13 and stalled.
I didn't think so, but I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, I thought number I put on it was 20. I said we're going to get to 20, but no way. I don't think it's going to happen. They've decided against it. So they're at 13 now. They're still, you can get to some good ones. The Palm, great with their lobster buffet and all that stuff. We got a 2-for-1 there with in LVA. Still South Point is good for breakfast. Most of them though are the higher level ones, the gourmet buffets we used to call them, or still do. They're more expensive, $70-$80. That's the Bellagio, Wynn, certainly Caesar's Palace, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about some shows closing. Are there any new shows opening?
Nothing that's super exciting right now. The only news and shows, except for the closing there, is that Terry Fader is moving over to the Strat, which was formerly the Stratosphere. Here's the thing with shows. We did 2 months ago or 3 months ago, we did our big show, room rates, our show price survey. And the average price of a show in Vegas now is $104. There used to be a time when there was only 1 or 2 shows that even had $100 ticket price. Now the average price is $100. But man, there's some real bargains in there. One of them being downtown at the Golden Nugget. They have the impressionist there. Geez, man, his name's escaping me right now.
Gordy Brown still?
Yeah, Gordy Brown. Yeah, Gordy Brown. Good show. Something like $36 for the ticket.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Then another good one, The Magic of Jen Kramer at Westgate. Good magic show, $38. We have a 2-for-1 in LVA. So 2 people can go for $38 strong, man.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And the other plays are you want to look at the comedy clubs. All right. Places like, at the Strat, they've got a comedy club there. They got the Comedy Cellar at the Rio. All of these tickets are like $40. Or you go outside of the casino, something like Wise Guys. There's 2 Wise Guys comedy stores now here in Vegas, one downtown in the Arts District and one over on the south end of the Strip. And in the town, what's it called? Town Center, I think it's called there, or Town Square. I think it's Town Square. And there you can see some really good comedians for as low as $12.
Southside, that's down towards the airport, right?
Yes. Yeah, kind of like over by Mandalay Bay a little bit past Mandalay Bay south. So
that's where that giant Fry's Electronics used to be, right?
Exactly.
The Bass Pro Shop, I think. No, that's at Silverton.
Yeah, that Fry's is the one. And it's in there. So I mean, those are your plays with shows. Stratosphere, or Strat as they call it now, has got some real good ones with Illuminate. They've got what we call a jiggle show, which are all the girls topless and all of that. It's called Rouge. Extremely good, great dancing choreography and all of that. And now Terry Fader is moving over there. $55 ticket there.
I'm sure the dancing is why you like the topless show, Anthony.
I guess, hey man, I got to review them. I got to try them out. Hey, look, some are better than others. Some are just girls walking around without tops. Some of them are very, very, they're very good with hot music and hot choreography. Fun to watch. This show Illuminates. It's not a topless show. It's just different. They do all their dancing kind of like in the dark, and they're all lit up with strobes and things like that. And the choreography in that is absolutely amazing. A great show.
That sounds super cool.
It is good.
And while we're on the subject of shows, I remember seeing an interview. Bruno Mars had beef with MGM because he stiffed them on a big gambling bill. I had heard that they were probably going to try and cancel his show due to that. Do you think that's going to happen or no?
No, I don't even think that story could be completely accurate. I can't imagine he could lose that amount of money. And there's been some pushback on that from people saying that that was, you know, an inflated amount.
Mhm.
But absolutely the opposite. If they're going to do anything, they're going to keep him there and, you know, withhold something out of his paycheck or something like
Yeah.
that, if, you know, if that's the case. But, you know, another thing with Bruno Mars is he just opened his own lounge called Pinky Ring at Bellagio.
Oh,
And the word is he's there a lot, that he goes there and hangs out and gets up on stage and everything else. And
oh, super
it's,
cool.
you know, you can walk right in, you know, I mean, you're going to have to pay a couple $100 if you want to get a table. You know, there's going to be a minimum of some sort or whatever, but you can walk in and walk to the bar and check it out. And I've heard that Bruno Mars shows up, you know, relatively frequently.
A bar that I heard that has some famous people, I think it might have been you that mentioned it, is my favorite bar in Las Vegas is the Golden Tiki, over near in Chinatown, sort of near your office. And I had heard, it might have been you that said it, that Bono and the Edge tend to go there. We're going there after their shows, and you could just walk in and see Bono and the Edge from U2 just drinking at the bar there.
I think they went twice. I
Oh,
mean, unless they did it under the radar a little bit.
hmm.
And you know, the joke that did you hear the joke that kind of hatched from that?
No.
Bono and the Edge walk into a bar, and the bartender goes, "You two again?" You
I
two
like
again.
that one.
Not bad.
And of course, the last thing I got to ask about in my dad's absence is how is the Sphere doing?
The Sphere is doing quite well, from what I hear. I mean, originally they were all nervous that you know, they booked a couple losing months. Well, you know, that was openings and all of that, and the amount of money that goes into that kind of promo, the amount of money they're paying U2, you know, that sort of thing. They just did a like a 4 or 5 day Fish played for, you know, a quick stint. They've got some big names planned. I hear they're doing well. They're going to be doing fine.
So I still haven't been there, but I saw the videos of what it looked like on just the regular show, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And I'm not a big jam band person, but I've seen Fish live, and they put on an incredibly mind-blowing show without the technology that the Sphere had. So I would have loved to see what they did at the Sphere. I had that note here. I wasn't sure if that had happened yet or not, but I bet that was probably the best show to come there so far.
Yeah, we linked to some video on our website at lasvegasadvisor.com. We linked to some video of it, and it's pretty amazing. Apparently now the rumor now is that Journey is next. And the guys from Journey were like, with what we can do at the Sphere, we're gonna blow everybody away, you know, with
Uh-huh.
what we got planned. So we'll see with all these, you know, these brilliant groups trying to one up one another. Um, but you know, pricey. These tickets are, you know, going to cost you a couple 300 man a person to see
Well,
these names.
they've come down because I think when U2 was first, they were almost 5 digits. I think when U2 was before it had opened. So I
Well,
was
yeah.
hoping that they were going to come down a bit after the you know fanciness wore off.
Oh yeah, yeah. Definitely, yeah. They can't sustain those kind of prices. You know, I mean,
Hmm.
the good thing about that too is that all the seats are good. So even the seats that are priced lower are, you know, from what I hear, I haven't been inside, but Dee Castleman, who's, you know, works here with me, he has, and he's described it and he's reviewed it, and it sounds like it's just, you know, amazing. So if you can get a cheap ticket, whatever, secondary market even, you know, or whatever, it's, I think there's like no negatives about that except, you know, except the high price.
Yeah. All right. So Anthony Curtis, thank you very much for joining us. If people are not familiar with you and your work, where can they learn more about that from?
Well, if they're watching YouTube now, then they watch YouTube, you know, and I mean, so check it out. Just, you know, search Las Vegas Advisor and you'll see what we do on weekly updates. And then by watching that, we always lead you back to our website, lasvegasadvisor.com.
Yeah, and if you want to check them out, I'll put a link to their YouTube channel down in the description. So make sure you check that out. Anthony Curtis, thank you very much for joining us once again. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Cool. Let me know if you get to town, man.
I will.